So, to sum up the Hukou in one sentence, people only receive benefits such as healthcare, pensions, and access to public schools in the place where they are registered. And yes, the situation is changing, and yes, some restrictions have been lifted, but they've been lifted very slowly and mainly in smaller cities, not in places like Shanghai and Beijing. So, what are some current perspectives on the Hukou system? So, I think one thing we've all seen over the last few decades is how quickly China has grown and developed. And the Hukou system has allowed China to remain stable while undergoing this development. On the other hand, it has created a very uneven society and it has restricted jobs and opportunities for hundreds of millions of people.
I'm Zay. I'm Zoom. Hello, Zoom. Hello, Zay.
So, this is something that affects a lot of kids growing up in China today. And they fall into one of two groups. So, they're either left behind or migrant children. Left behind children are the ones who stay in the rural areas while their parents go into the city to find work. And they're either looked after by grandparents or they're sent to a rural boarding school. And there are over 100 million across China, mainly from the poorer south and west areas. Migrant children go with their parents when they go into cities to find work. And there are around 30 million migrant children in Chinese cities. And this number is increasing every year as more and more people move to the city and more take their kids with them. So, this situation clearly presents challenges. For students, many suffer from low self esteem, from a lack of stability and poor conditions in schools, including a lack of resources compared to regular schools. Many have to travel long distances to get to school, making their days long and tiring. A lot of parents also face tough choices and they make big sacrifices for their kids to give them the best chance of a good education. And schools and teachers themselves also face challenges. So the schools are often poorly resourced, so they find it difficult to attract and retain good teachers or to buy the necessary resources for their students. Teachers themselves have to deal with poorly equipped classrooms, large class sizes, and this lack of funding often means a lack of training and professional development for them. Despite these challenges, there is still hope. Almost 150 better funded migrant schools have opened in Shanghai in the last few years, and these kids no longer have to go to the rundown, unofficial migrant schools. So the government is trying to implement change, but this takes time. And for now, this inequality still exists.